Hi Gemini, happy birthday and welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your June 2021 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic Cross spread as always, and I also pulled an Oracle card and a Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to open the reading up by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as the astrology goes. So, let's see what we get. Okay, so we have 3, so that's your third house of communication, which for you guys is Leo. Mars is going to be there in June eventually. It's going to still be in Cancer at the beginning of the month, but it's going to move into Leo around the middle of June. And also keep in mind where we'll be having a Mercury retrograde in your sign, so that could definitely impact communication. So it makes sense that we see the house communication show up as significant for you guys. All right, we have Aries energy, which for you guys is your 11th house. So that's friendships, groups, hopes and wishes. So focus there as well. And we have Saturn, which is actually in Aquarius, which is your 9th house. So, that could relate to foreign places and people, higher learning, philosophy. So we'll keep those in mind as we go through the main spread. So in the main situation position, we have the Ace of Cups. So for those of you who've been watching my channel for a while already know, I usually look at this as just an energy of a thought process as opposed to a page energy, which we see in your spread later, actually representing taking action toward that thought. So this could just be saying that there's, maybe the opportunity for new love around you, but maybe you or the other person just hasn't actually physically come through to extend the offer just yet. I could just be saying that there's some opportunities at play in the background as well, but that's what I'm seeing there. All right. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the 6 of Pentacles. So this is actually Taurus energy, which for you guys is your 12th house. So for this to show up in the challenge position, it could be saying a couple things for me. Between this and the Ace of Cups, normally with Ace of Cups, you think of new, fresh energy, but with the 6 of Cups, the 6 of Pentacles, whatever, and also the fact that we'll have the Mercury retrograde energy for you guys in June, this could definitely represent a past energy coming back around. And what I see here with those two cards and the way they're playing against each other could just be saying that the challenge here is that either you or the other person are too concerned about, equal give and take. So as far as, one of those things where, oh, I want to call them, but you know what, I called them the last time, so they should call me this time. So one of those things where that thought process and that mentality is kind of blocking the flow of love. Like if we look at that Ace of Cups energy, the cup is overflowing, right? But if you get caught up in your head about, oh, well, I called them the last time, so they should be calling me this time, or, things along those lines, that could just be causing a bit of a blockage for you guys. That's what I'm seeing primarily there. Or it could just be saying that, someone actually does have to come in to restore balance in the connection. So it could just be saying that that's the challenge to getting the love rejuvenated. But that's definitely a possibility that you'll see that come around with, like I said, especially Mercury retrograde being in your sign in June. Foundation position, we have the 7 of Wands. So this is Leo energy, which for you guys is your 3rd house. We did see that came up with the dice as well. And like I said, that's your house communication. Mercury retrograde in your sign. So definitely watch out for the potential for some miscommunications. Usually this energy to me represents someone defending themselves, usually successfully so, but it could just still be an energy that you'd probably rather avoid if you can, So again, combining Mercury retrograde in your sign and also having Mars in your house communication could just definitely point to some potential for miscommunications this month more than usual. And, if that's the case, could get a bit contentious. So just be on the lookout for that. And this could just be saying that if it's regarding the situation as well, it could just be saying that you might be a bit guarded when it comes to communication, and that could be causing blockages too. All right, in the past position, we have the Hanged Man. So this is usually Pisces energy for me, and, I've seen this, especially in the past position, make sense because, we just now had Mercury and Venus move into your sign recently, so not too long ago they were in your 12th house. We still have the sun in your 12th house at the time recording this. Uranus is still in there, so this could just be saying all the energy in your 12th house had you guys, just really caught up in your head, maybe having a lot of ideas around things, but not necessarily being ready to take action on them. So that's what I'm seeing primarily there, and possibly getting a different perspective around situations as well. In the present position, happy birthday, you have the Tower, and we have the Nine of Wands. So seeing this, even though we're not quite there yet, seeing this come up in the present situation makes me think of the fact that we're going to have that full moon eclipse in Sagittarius toward the very end of May. So could just be pointing to that energy there, especially given that we do see Sagittarius energy underneath the Tower. But this could just be saying for some of you, maybe it's an ending toward your perspectives on relationships, given that Sagittarius is your opposite sign of relationships. Could be that for some of you, it could just be maybe you're actually getting out of a relationship as well. So if that's the case, if you're already in a relationship where this is the type of dynamic that you guys are in, where it's constantly, you never quite feel like equals, it always feels like one person's almost begging for something and the other person's giving it, and then it goes back and forth in that dynamic, as opposed to you ever feeling like you actually meet each other as equals in the connection. Could just be saying that connection could be falling away for you guys. And then that could be what actually clears the blockage as far as, that Ace of Cups energy, right? Because if you're stuck in a relationship like that, that could block the new opportunities from coming your way. So that could be how it plays out for some of you. But I don't necessarily see it that way for the majority of you. I feel like it's more of a shift in perspective in some way. And if anything, it could be someone in your environment, given what we see in the environment position, but we'll get to that a little later. And with the Nine of Wands here, either way, it shows me that you'll still be standing, Probably won't be the most pleasant of experiences, but I feel like you'll be fine afterwards. So that's what I'm seeing there. All right, in the near future position, we have the Empress. So, yeah, I mean, to me, this is definitely an indicator that whatever that is that falls away is probably going to be for your higher good anyway. And I feel like you guys are going to pick up on that pretty quickly, as far as energy in your environment after it takes place. So, you might have that little bit of Nine of Wands energy where you might be feeling a bit guarded, like, all right, did I waste my time with this thing, whatever it was, right? That falls away. But I feel like you'll get affirmation in your environment that says that, no, you know what, that was actually for your highest good. Now, this could be pointing to the fact that we also, pretty early on in June, we're going to have Venus move into your second house of finances. So that could definitely bring this type of energy about too. But yeah, it looks like you guys are just going to be able to actually enjoy yourselves a little bit. So that's another reminder too. This could just be a bit of a warning toward overworking yourselves, because seeing the Seven of Wands there, the Nine of Wands, could just be saying that you guys might be pushing yourselves a little too hard. And if that's the case, could just be saying, try to give yourselves a little bit of time off. Otherwise, you could potentially burn out. But yeah, I feel like this is saying you guys will be able to get some relaxation and enjoy yourselves a bit. All right. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Page of Wands and the World. So, I mean, pretty solid, strong major arcana card here. And then with that Page of Wands, I feel like this is saying, for some of you, this could just point to literal travel, quite frankly. And if that's the case, I feel like it'd be pretty long distance travel. And maybe that's what you've been thinking about, right? And maybe with all the restrictions finally starting to be lifted, it's getting a little easier for some people, depending on where you are, to actually make those kinds of moves. But could just be saying that, that might be something that you're feeling really drawn to right now. And again, like I said, you guys have Saturn in your ninth house. Jupiter has been there. It's just about to move into Pisces, but you could still have that kind of feel where you might want to explore things, new environments, new scenes that you haven't seen before. For some people, just having all those restrictions might have even made them want to travel even more. Like, okay, you know what, I was always putting off this trip to this place, and now seeing how quickly those opportunities could be taken away from you, that could have been lighting a fire under you. Like, all right, I really want to do this. But yeah, beyond that, I feel like this is saying that whatever this is, again, going back to the Tower situation, we see the Seven of Wands, Down in the foundation, we see the Nine of Wands underneath the Tower, and now we see the Page of Wands. So to me, it shows some steady progress and actually lightening of your load. So like I said, if you guys have been taking on a lot, on one hand, if you come to that realization on your own, then the Tower moment will be a lot easier to handle, right? So if it comes across as more of a realization, like, all right, I'm putting, I have too many things going on right now, let me put some of that aside, take some time to relax. Or if it's just taken from you, either way, it looks like you'll be fine. And that might be what you guys need to learn too, to try to focus your energy a bit more on one thing at a time. Because we see there he has the one wand, right? So could be what that's pointing to. All right, and in the environment position, we have the 10 of Swords, which is Gemini energy, and the 7 of Cups, which is Scorpio energy. So yeah, for some of you, this can be around your work or just your daily routines in general, given that Scorpio represents your 6th house. So it could just be saying, again, I feel like there's an ending coming there. If you guys have just been trying to take on too much at once, right, to where you couldn't really give your focus to any one thing because you just had so many things going on. I feel like this is saying that that's actually going to come to an end for you guys. Could also just be saying coming to some enlightenment too, because if you've already been in that energy, and I was talking about the Hangman and all the stuff you guys had going on in your 12th house, could just be saying that that's an ending to that as well. And if this is someone in your environment as well, like I said, it could be that Tower moment's more impacting someone in your environment as opposed to you directly, but I feel like this is saying that, they could be coming out of some confusion too. So it could be one of those things. For example, with retrogrades, right? We always talk about there's the opportunity for miscommunication and whatnot. But if there's already been a dynamic like that in the past, sometimes those retrogrades could come through to help clear the air. Or likewise, even if there is a miscommunication during the Mercury retrograde, the long-term impact of that could be, okay, you guys see things a lot more clearly. So that could be what happens there. So it might not be in the most comfortable way, but it could still be for the higher good. But yeah, for the majority of you, I feel like this is, if it's related to work, I feel like it's more of you guys coming to that realization that you're taking on too much, and that actually helps lighten your load and gives you that forward progress. Someone else, same thing as far as, they might hit the ground with a bit of a thud, but I feel like that'll help clear things up for them too. All right, hopes or fears. We have the 8 of Wands, which is Sagittarius energy, the King of Swords, which is Aquarius energy, and the 9 of Pentacles, which is Virgo energy. So, interesting mixture here. The 8 of Wands represents a lot of movement, a lot of energy. Similar to what I was saying for as far as you guys, maybe if you have been taking on too much, although the good thing with the 8 of Wands is taking on a lot, but it's all moving in the same direction as opposed to being more of the scattered energy as we could see there, But with that King of Swords and the 9 of Pentacles, if all three of these are just related energies, which is possible, I would say that this is more pointing to you guys possibly wanting to move. And again, if that's the case, if you want to physically move as opposed to just travel like vacation, like I was initially seeing, this is more of you guys wanting to move. It looks like it'd be a pretty significant move, but I feel like you guys kind of know that it would be for the best for you guys too. Like, given that Virgo energy represents your 4th house of, your home, your environment, we could just see, obviously this looks like a pleasant environment. It looks like she's enjoying herself, so could be one of those things where you guys might be considering moving. So that could be what it is. Maybe they're having some discussions around that. So you might not be making, putting concrete plans in place, which might be a good idea, given that, again, we are going to have that Mercury retrograde energy. This could just be saying that you guys are really trying to get the ball rolling. Like, okay, if I'm going to do this, what do I need to know, right? So you could just be getting started with that whole process. And in the outcome position, we have the King of Pentacles. So this is Taurus energy. So again, we see some of you could be dealing with a Taurus. I do have to put that out there. And if that's the case, it looks like they'll be getting their situation together as far as if they were the one who needed to come in to fix a situation, because we see the Taurus card there. This is usually, for me, given that it's Venusian energy, but also has that earthy vibe to it, I usually think of Taurus energy with that. And this is the actual court card for a Taurus. So if some of you guys are dealing with a Taurus, it looks like you guys get things back on track with them. But if this is you guys as well, I feel like this is saying, like I said, it looks like whatever's going on, looks like somehow you end up with having to do less work, but actually getting more money for it. So for some of you, as a super generic standard example, it could just be where you get some kind of a promotion, you know. Um, but yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. It looks like you're just feeling a lot more secure when it comes to your finances. And like I said, that would make sense as far as we're going to have Venus move into your second house of finances pretty early on in June. So that's going to be there for most of the month. Uh, Mercury's going to be doing all retrograde things. So if it even gets into Cancer, it's probably going to be toward the very end of June. But even then, you're going to get more momentum there as the retrograde energy and shadow energy clears out. So pretty solid there. And then the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Cups. So another indicator that things are going to be going well for you guys. And, you know, this is definitely an energy of happiness, completion. And for you guys, given that Pisces energy represents your 10th house of career and social status, again, this could definitely be related to work for a lot of you. And, you know, like I said, at the time I'm recording this, we're just about to have Jupiter move into the sign of Pisces too. So you might start to see some changes there as far as career goes in a positive way too. All right. So moving on to your Oracle card, we have By the Book. There's the artwork, and the number is 11. Okay, it says abiding by social rules, conformity, respecting cultural or family customs, universal laws. The Oracle's message. The universe works within a structure of divine laws and principles that provides a framework for human experience and evolution. The law of abundance, the law of prayer, the law of karma, the law of attraction, the law of thought, the law of compensation, and the law of nature are only a few that are known. These principles create perfect order and operate with a kind of precision beyond human understanding. Even revolution has its place in universal law. Human beings, in turn, have their own laws and customs that vary from culture to culture and family to family. Laws keep social order and govern behavior, reflecting an instinctive understanding that harmony is important. This is a time to learn these laws and conform to them, rather than being the rebel and flouting them. When this card appears, submit to structure and follow the rules, even if they seem to make no sense. Release resistance, for universal laws will correct any disharmony. Open your eyes to those universal laws, and it will be easier to go by the book at this time. So, reading that message, this might sound a little weird to some of you, but what came to mind as I was reading that is the fact that we did see Saturn show up as one of your dice. That is in your 9th house. We have Uranus in your 12th house, and they're pretty much, like I had mentioned in previous readings, they're going to be in a square aspect pretty much all year. You know, it's going to be exact only a couple different times, but they're only going to be a couple degrees apart most of the year. So, given how I was saying, for somebody this might be around, you know, foreign travel, possibly, or, you know, possibly even moving to a foreign place, make sure that you're aware of their customs before you move there. You know, I don't think it'd be like anything crazy, but you might, you know, make some kind of a, you know, mistake regarding their customs or something like that. So it sounds random. That's probably only going to resonate for a couple of you, but I did want to mention that. Just make sure you familiarize yourself with the way they do things wherever you'd be going. The relationship message says getting along with others entails understanding and respecting who they have become as a result of their environment, culture, and experience. Find a middle ground that allows the relationship to flourish while honoring the individuality of the other person. Play things by the book instead of trying to break the rules or pressure others to conform to the way you want to do them. Your connection will deepen as a result. So, interesting message there. And then reading that made me think of the way that that Six of Pentacles could be coming across in a more positive sense, which is to say, you know, that you would take in others into consideration, right? As opposed to, like it said, as opposed to always wanting things to go your way. Like, all right, well, this person prefers this, and then kind of trying to meet in the middle, you know, but making sure you're able to do it in a way where there's still flow. Because, like I said, that would be the concern, seeing that in the challenge position, where it's one of those dynamics, like I said, where, oh, well, I called them last week, they should call me this week, or, you know, things like that. Try to avoid that, but trying to get both people's input into the situation would be a positive. All right, and then the prosperity message says at this time you can expect a return on your investment. Whatever you have pursued, be it a dream you've long cherished, a skill you've cultivated, or a service you're called to, will come to you if you are willing to go by the book. You don't need to reinvent the wheel to be successful. Follow in the footsteps of others who have already achieved the things you're striving for. You can learn a lot by observing the structures that are already working. Your creative projects and commitment to prosperity are in alignment with the needs of the world, but impatience may tempt you to cut corners to get there more quickly. Stick with what you know works, and you will attract abundance. So, pretty positive message there, and if nothing else, like we said, with the Mercury retrograde in your sign, this wouldn't be a good time to rush anything this month anyway, but hopefully that resonated for you. And finally, we have a mudra for you guys. So the mudra you guys got for this month is right here. It's the Pralamba mudra. And the keyword for it is benevolence. All right, and there's the info on it. Let's see if we can get it to focus. Try this again. There we go. All right, so if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say, you can. But under benefits, it says opens the heart, calms the spirit, awakens feelings of devotion and compassion, benefits the cardiovascular system by lowering blood pressure, reduces anxiety, and weakens ego grasping. So if that sounds like something you think would be beneficial for you guys, I will put the name of the mudra in the description video as always. Once again, happy birthday, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.